Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for attending. This is webinar number 7 in the series of. We've actually started with a series of ISO webinars in general, because if you're looking at ISO, the International Standards Organization, most of the most of the most of the structures are actually the same. I just want to mute some of the people here. Lina, can I mute you? And Sobs, can I mute you there as well? Because there's some disturbance. Okay, thank you. So ISO is actually a structured organization that is putting out structured standards. Now, since 2015, most of the standards has been aligned with every other one. So what we as a company, Crest Advisory Africa, the one that you can see here at the bottom left, is that we are certified. We are certified in about 17 standards. So we are doing training, as well as we are doing management system audits. We are doing international certification all over the globe. And today we are speaking about the role of leadership in communication to stakeholders, shareholders, staff, employees, and vendors. So if we go on there, you will, come on slide. We just go for the next slide. Sorry, there we are. So the webinar guidelines, I just want to ask you, please mute your microphone. There's some disturbance and we are recording this. So please make sure that we've got good sound for any other person that is going to attend this as well, whether online or offline. You can keep your video off, please, during the presentation. It is just making that the streaming is much better. Let me present first quickly. I think it is going to take about 40 to 50 minutes, not so much. And then at the bottom of your screen, or at the top of your screen, you will see that the Zoom chat box is there. Please, if you've got any questions, document it there. Helene, she is part of Crest Advisory Africa. She will be keeping records of that, and out of that we will give you the answers when we are finishing the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then the webinar shall be recorded. And I need to say that specifically because this is in terms of the Personal Information Management Act, as well as we need to make sure that anybody that is being recorded, that we've got your permission as well, please. And this shall be available after the webinar to everybody who is attending here. So the table of contents, I'm going to speak about the following things during this webinar. Firstly, who is Crest Advisory Africa? Then the structure of leadership strategy. Then we're speaking about the leadership strategy in terms of statement, the rationale behind it, the key benefits behind it, the actions that you can take. And then we're speaking about the role of the leadership. And this is during the implementation of any management system project. And then the authorizations of the management to implement the management system. And then we are going to demonstrate to you as well quickly how does our isolatic system give you leadership strategy assurance in terms of leadership, and then our endorsement and some freebies for you, and then questions. So who is Crest Advisory Africa? If you're looking at Crest can say now that we are 6 years old, because we have been established on the 13th of June 2014 by myself. So I'm the founder and the CEO of Crest, and so over the last 6 years we were growing fantastically. So Crest specializes in corporate governance. Now, corporate governance, as you know, is speaking about enterprise risk management, business continuity, compliance, King 4, SOX, and all those things. But actually, corporate governance just simply means doing the right things right and making sure that your business is running smoothly and at the best of its capacity. Now, all these components, all these management systems like enterprise risk management, business continuity, compliance management, health and safety, all of those are actually building blocks and building blocks of this whole business that you need to have. So we are specializing in management systems. And if you're looking at the best practice globally, the best practice is actually the International Standards Organization. So It is the oldest company that is there in terms of management systems. It has been established in 1947. It has got about 22,000 standards, and we are working here with we are saying 17, but we've got access to about 58 standards. We are also, it's very important that you look here on the right hand side, that we are a PCB authorized partner. Now, this one here, we are a platinum partner. Now, just to give you context about this, is that the PCB is based in Canada. So we are certifying people internationally. It is not only in South Africa, it is not only in Botswana or Namibia, it's globally. We've got a global footprint through the PCB in about 140 countries, 150 countries. Out of that, we've got a network of 1,921 accredited partners with the PCB. Now, just take that number there, 1,921. And we, Crest Advisory Africa, is a platinum partner, and there's only 29 of them globally. So we were number 23 in this whole process of partnerships with the PCB. So we are actually the first people that the PCB are consulting. We are also the first people that they are, if there's any changes, that they are asking, is this changes going to work? So, and we are also people that's actually testing the market. So if you're looking at Crest Advisory Africa, what kind of services do we offer? We've got 8 offerings. So firstly, the offering that you're seeing there on the left-hand side is number 1, that is training. So we are providing training in ISO standards. As I said to you, we've got access to about 58 standards. We are training in about 17 at the moment. We've got CETA accreditation as well, and we are also doing competence and personal development training. Then number 2 is advisory services. So we are a management consulting company as well. So what we are training, we can also implement. So we are implementing enterprise risk management. We are implementing any kind of standard that or any kind of management system that you want to implement it, whether it is business continuity, whether it is quality, whether it is environmental things, or whether it is health and safety, we are implementing that. Audits, what we are training, what we are implementing, we must be auditing as well. So we are auditing on the first level audits, second level audits, third level audits is actually independent audits. Second level audits has to do with auditing your suppliers and auditing your customers. So we are doing that. Products, we've got fantastic products that we can deliver to the market. So one of them is actually how to implement a management system. So we've got toolkits, premium toolkits. You can see here at the bottom, we've got premium toolkits for all 17 standards that we are implementing. So that makes your speed of implementation to actually finish the ISO qualification and certification. It makes it, I think if we're looking at our competitors, we are doing it in a third of the time that other companies are doing it, because we have already got the base foundation documents and everything there. We've also got health and safety products. We've got also other products that is just making this environment much more fluent and that we can put out to the market. Number 5 is our technology. So our technology is based on, we've got a system with the name of Isolytics. You can see it here on the right hand side. So Isolytics is actually an abbreviation for ISO Analytics. So how do you analyze? I just spoke to one of the attendees in the beginning, and the doctor was saying there, how do you make sense of ISO? Now, that is a very good question. And how do you measure ISO? Because if you cannot measure ISO, you don't know what you don't know. And then you are sitting in a Johari's window effect where you actually are sitting with blind spots. You're sitting with blind spots all over your organization. And this is where we have actually built with one of the universities a customized system that is preloaded with all 17 standards. And I will give you a glimpse of that specifically to leadership when we are getting there. Incubation, we are working with businesses to actually drive business with more revenue, and also to have a return on investment, where business leaders are sitting together, executives are actually in learning circles, and we've got C-suite coaching as well. And the biggest thing now at the moment, I think within COVID, is business rescue. And not business rescue to actually go for liquidation. It is actually business rescue to, how do I start my business now again? How do I grow my business now again after COVID? So we are functioning in that space very strongly. We're also doing events. We've got conferences, trainings that we are doing. So training usually in number one has to come with some kind of events management. So we are doing that as well. And then our flagship is number 8, that is international certification. So we are certifying persons. We can international certify products. We can international certify management systems. So if you are seeing any certificate on a wall of a business that at the entrance, usually where you've got ISO 9001 certified, 45,000 certified, we are the guys that is actually doing that. We are the people that's actually working for the PCB to roll out international certification. We can also certify training organizations, trainers, as well as auditors. So I want to speak about leadership. Leadership is actually, for me, a fantastic topic to be speaking about, because as you can see, you've got my video on. I'm not one of the youngest persons, but I am also not old. With saying this, I've been through the mill. I've been on the top structures of government. I've been working there as a brigadier in the police in Soweto, in South Africa. So I've been managing a police station there for about 7 years. I was then appointed at the Gautrain, where I was an executive for Bombella Civil joint venture, where we were actually managing the whole project of the Gautrain, how to build it between 2007 as well as to about 2011. And then I started with Bombella Operating Company, and I was there since 2009 till 2013, where we, as an executive, we were actually setting up the business. So everything about business management, what structures do you need? We know about that, and we are working with that. So if you're looking at the ISO principles, the ISO management principles are actually working with 7 principles. First one is leadership. Leadership is in the crux of everything, because if you've got a leader that has got vision, if you've got a leader that knows where he wants to go to, then you've got a clear vision and you've got a clear mission. And your objectives that is actually coming out of that is actually making that everything that you are doing is actually smoothing out the rough patches of a road, of a structure, of people dynamics. You are the leader in that space. And it doesn't matter if you are the CEO or if you are a leader on a different level. Leaders is not only CEOs. I don't agree with that. Leaders are not only executives. You've got leaders on every level of the organization, even between the cleaners. You've got a leader there. So leadership is for me critical. Then we are speaking about, I just want to go through quickly the 7 management principles. Engagement of people. If your engagement of people are not a critical part of your business strategy, you are going to sit with no customers, because you need to engage with people. Then you have to have a process approach. What is the processes that you need to have to actually make your business to flourish? And how do you keep people honest in relation to what kind of processes do you have in place? Then we're looking at improvement. Improvement is critical, because if you are sitting with the same business at the moment that you were sitting with 3 months ago when COVID started, you are actually stagnating, and you need to be growing now at the moment, because this is the best time to actually sit and think. Think what you are thinking about. There's a saying about that you have to have silence, and you have to have focus, and you have to be away from everything, to just think. And that silence is actually creating for you the opportunity to say, where do I want to go? Am I still on the right path or not? And that improvement strategy is critical. And whether you have to give away, and this is what we are doing with our business rescue. We are actually saying that we want to actually assist you to grow your business. We have got, I will explain to you, we are part of a bigger structure that we signed a part of our company away because of improvement. 25% of our company away, and we are now, since the 17th of June, we are actually part and parcel of an international organization that is working in 32 countries, and with our offices that is in countries that they don't have a footprint. We've got a footprint in 34 countries. So we are working globally. That is improvement. And then evidence-based decision making. You cannot have decisions that you're making without evidence. You cannot have a non-scientific approach to making decisions. You need to know if your decision is made just on thumb sucking or on a whim of the moment, then you are sitting in problems, because the moment that you are starting to be tracking and tracing that back, you are going to be in trouble. Because how did you make a decision of even spending $10,000 US or $20,000 US or $100,000 US? It needs to be in evidence-based decision making. Then your relationships. Relationship management is critical, because your relationship management and your engagement of people is actually going hand in hand. And this links to your customer focus. Your customer is not only the people that's buying from you. Your customer is everybody that is coming in contact with you. So even your staff are your customers. So if we go on, if you go on, the structure of leadership strategy. This is very important, because the structure of my presentation is going to go firstly. I'm going to make a statement. So that is a description of the principle. Then I am going to explain the rationale about it. I'm going to explain the key benefits around it. And all of these are actually to do with management system implementation. Forget about the word ISO. ISO is just a document. ISO is just a standard, but the contents of that management system document is actually give you so much, I want to say, so much structure that can actually be forming a support system for your strategy that you can then go over, and your actions that you need to take will be explained then as well. So leadership strategy, what is our statement? So statement is firstly, leaders at all levels, and very important, at all levels, establish unity of purpose and direction, and create conditions in which people are engaged in achieving the organization's quality objectives, or any other kind of objective, health and safety objectives, it doesn't matter what. It is about achieving the objectives of the company, and that you are aligned to it. And specifically, if we're speaking about at all levels has to do with from the cleaner that is on a Patterson level, an A-grade person, to the F level that is the CEO. Everywhere in between, you've got leadership. And those leadership need to be cultivated. And those leadership need to be creating the unity of purpose. And you as a leader in your small environment need to create the conditions where your people can actually flourish and go on there. The rationale behind this is firstly the creation of unity of purpose and direction, and the engagement of people enable the organization to firstly align its strategies. So this is where your leadership forums, your leadership circles, your leadership strategy, I want to say think tanks, etc., are sitting together, and they decide what is our objectives, where are we going to, what do we do, and how do we agree on a shared objective or a shared strategy and shared values and all this stuff. And out of that, you are then developing policies, processes, and you obtain the resources to actually make you achieve your objective. Your key benefits of this is an increased effectiveness and efficiency in meeting the organization's objectives. It's firstly, it has to do with better coordination of the organization's processes. Now, this is a very important thing because my company has been doing audits for many years. We've been implementing these standards over the last six, 7 years, actually since 2007. And what we are seeing is that the moment that you are approaching a company and speaking about about ISO implementation, they think it is a brand new system. It's not. You already have got about 80% of everything that you need. So we are just the catalysts, the external leadership that is coming in and just putting everything into the required boxes. And if there need to be changes, then we coordinate that and we make your process better, because we need to make sure that your business are strong. Secondly, improved communication between levels and functions of the organization. Because you've got an implementation strategy across business, I want to say verticals and business departmental lines, you need to make sure that people are actually allocated to be champions of your management system in a specific environment. And those people are your go-to people. Those people are actually the extension of your resources all over the company, because somebody is taking command and control, even of health and safety. Somebody is taking command and control in the operations environment. Somebody is taking control in the HR environment. And so those guys are actually not the bosses, not the executives. They are people on the ground that is actually speaking to the people on the ground and hearing all the grievances and, I want to say, complaints about, let's say, safety or business continuity or anything. And they are bringing those things to the table. And this is where you are working with continuous improvement. Development and improvement of the capability of the organization and for the people to deliver the desired results. If you as a leader don't have the vision to say that I want to be there in 3 years, I want to be at this point and achieve this in 4 years or 5 years, etc. And this is my milestones and my KPIs, everything that I am actually working with, then you are actually creating for yourself a critical space where you are actually creating chaos. And you need to be creating the conditions for leadership. If we are going on to the actions that you can take, is firstly, communicate the organization's mission, vision, strategies, and policies and processes throughout the whole organization. People are thinking that they are only working with policies and procedures because it is now written and we have to follow it like slaves. That is the biggest misconception that you can have. Every policy and procedure are actually written to follow the direction of your vision, to follow the direction of your strategy, to follow the direction of your objectives. And your objectives of a specific department needs to be aligned with the company's objectives. So to get there, it's firstly to create and sustain shared values, fairness, and ethical models for behavior at all levels of the organization. Very important. It is not only for the selected ones, it is for everybody. Establish a culture of trust and integrity. Now, those are two big words. The third big word in this sentence is culture. If you've got a culture of nonchalantness or fairness, you are not going to build trust and integrity. You are going to have possibly good relationships, yes, because you are a good guy or a good girl. People want to be in your space because just because. And that does not create trust and integrity. Trust and integrity has got a specific definition that we are working with. And those things, if you go and analyze trust and integrity, is my word is my word, my yes is my yes, my no is my no. I am walking the straight path. I'm doing the right things. I'm delivering on time every time. In the third point there is encourage an organization-wide commitment to quality or any other objective there. So if we are talking here about organization-wide commitment, how do you demonstrate that? Do you demonstrate it through an email that was sent out from your office and people that has clicked on it, or that has actually ticked a button, or that you've got a reply and automated reply that people has read it? Is that commitment? I don't think so. That needs to be part and parcel of your culture. That needs to be part and parcel of everything that we are doing. Just want to give you an example here in this space. We are working a lot with the mines, and the culture there in health and safety is that you are reversing when you are parking. Take the same person and put him in a normal environment where he's going to a shopping center. Does he use a reverse parking to park? No. You can see that at any shopping center that is in and around that either mine or the mining environment. Whether you are going to a mining head office here in Sandton, it is exactly the same. You have to reverse park. The reason for that is because there's a health and safety objective about this. It is not because we are testing if you can reverse park. It is not about that. It is when there's something happening that you can actually quickly get out of the environment. Now, if that is not instilled in your culture, then you're actually switching your culture on and off when you're getting at the gate. And that is not what we want. The next point there is ensure that leaders at all levels are positive examples to people in the organization. So this is where you need to, if you are a leader, you need to walk the walk. You need to lead the way. You need to go into an environment before other people are going in there. You need to actually test the system before you are actually giving other people instructions to go and test the system. You need to know first. You need to know also what is the functionality possibly of that system. Because if you don't know, anybody can actually fool you with feedback that they are giving you. And every leader on every level has to do that. Provide people with the required resources, training and authority to act with accountability. So resources, we are speaking here about not only people, we're speaking about simple things, technology. The biggest resource that we have seen that was lacking when we started with COVID is that working from home is a challenge. People don't have laptops, people don't have enough data. And because of that, it is actually creating that you don't have communication with them anymore. You cannot speak to them anymore. You are having miscommunication, and you've got these huge gaps that is starting to actually break down your whole organization. And then the last part here is inspire, encourage, and recognize people's contribution. There's a simple, small word in the dictionary that you need to use. And that gives people affirmation. Just a plain thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. I don't say that you as a leader need to be buddies with everybody. I don't say that at all, because you need to have a clear line of I am providing affirmation here, and a recognition process is there. But if you overstep this environment and my policies, my processes, and affecting my vision and my strategy, I need to be in a position to call you back as well, to say that this is my corrective actions that I'm implementing here now. So that is a very balanced approach that you need to be working within as a leader. So if you're looking at the role of leadership, we've been, as I said to you, we've been implementing a lot of international standards or management system projects, whether it is in business continuity, whether it is in risk management, whether it is in security management, health and safety, quality. We've been doing it. So we know the obstacles and what is the critical mass and the critical factors that a company must have to actually streamline their business and make sure that they can reach their objectives. Now, I just want to stop with this word, objective. An objective is is so critical that if your objectives are wrongly identified and wrongly formulated, you actually cannot have a, a key performance area or a key performance indicator. You cannot have a key risk indicator, because if you're looking at objectives, objectives is actually driving your vision of your company, your vision and your mission of your company. So these objectives and risk management is interlinked. As I don't know even how to express myself, but if you're looking at risk, the definition of risk is the effect of uncertainty on objectives. So if you're looking at objectives, it plays a critical role in your business strategy. So firstly, in your mission, set your management system objectives and strategies. Very important. Validate the roles and responsibilities of key stakeholders in the project. Who is your stakeholders that you are going to be working with, that you are actually going to be integrating here? Validate the operations policies of the management system. Approve the criteria for acceptance of risk and residual risk. So how do you actually say that if we've got a loss, do I have the appetite for it, or can I tolerate it? How do you function with that? And then approve the risk treatment plan and allow the implementation of the management system. And lastly, provide adequate resources for the implementation of the management system. Now, adequate resources is not too much, it is not too little, it is just enough. We don't need to have 10, 15 people where we just need one or two. It is unnecessary cost. Secondly, your members, top management, your CEOs, your COOs, every leader on every environment needs to be involved here. They need to be knowing that they are taking responsibility and accountability for the implementation of a management system. And then when you are starting to implement, you have to have frequent meetings. Some meetings are just feedback meetings, other meetings are milestone meetings. Some meetings are risk analysis and risk reporting meetings and management review meetings. How strong is your system and how do you work with that? And then I want to draw this one in. This is ISO, any ISO here, but this is clause 5 that is actually speaking about leadership and commitment. And I just want to go through this. Now, everywhere where there's a shall is a non-negotiable requirement. You shall do this. It is like in the Bible, the 10 Commandments. You shall not do so and so. And this is exactly the same. So top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the development and implementation of, this is a management system, and continuously improving its effectiveness by firstly ensuring that management system operations policy and the management system operations objectives are established and are compatible with the strategic direction of the organization. It doesn't help you to have another view and your company is going to north, but you are going northwest. You are going to be swimming upstream totally. Second point there, ensuring the integration of the management system requirements into the organization's business processes. Thirdly, ensuring that the resources needed for the management system are available to establish, implement, operate, monitor, review, maintain, and improve the management system. Communicating the importance of effective management system operations management and of conforming to the management system requirements and its legal responsibilities. And then ensuring that the management system achieves its intended outcomes and directing and supporting persons to contribute to the effectiveness of the management system. And I love this one, continuous improvement. I just want to stop here. The question is, how do you measure continuous improvement? And maybe you can put it for us there in the chat box. But how do you measure continuous improvement? Continuous improvement is actually every afternoon when you go home from your work, you need to do tomorrow better than yesterday. And the day before, exactly the same. You need to have a continuous improvement strategy and you need to be able to measure that. On this point, we were we are involved I've explained, in business rescue, and one of the things is we are taking startup companies and we are actually putting them on a fast growth curve. And yesterday we were actually starting with one company, and within 3-4 hours we were making such a difference to that company that that in the next week or so, that company will have catalogs, will have brochures, will have different revenue streams. We are giving them access to our communication platforms that is globally. So we are actually putting you on steroids, not you, your company, but you as a leader have to make that decision. Then we are going to supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership. Very important, because if you are implementing, let's say, an IT system, your leaders and your appointed leaders, executives, departmental HODs are going to think, but you know what, that is the IT department's project objective. Not so. You are working with the IT. So you must be integrated and you must be part and parcel of the process, because you've got an area of responsibility, and your area of responsibility you must go and report on. And then conducting management reviews. Management reviews is actually, I am calling it accounting meetings. This is where you are actually getting each business unit in, or each risk champion or champion in business continuity in, and you are actually giving them the opportunity in a structured way. ISO is giving you a fantastic structured way to actually say, but what is your risks? What is your requirements? Do you need more people? Do you need money or not? So I'm giving you an audience with the leadership structure here. And this is where combined assurance is actually coming from, because you can come and pitch your business unit to me as the leader, as the executive, or as the CEO of the company. And you can come and ask me, or you've got the audience and my ear for an hour or for 2 hours a month, or every 2 months. So management reviews are critical leadership discussions that you need to have in your business. Now, if you're looking at evidence, in terms of leadership, what is the evidence that you are going to get to say that you are allowed to implement a management system? Now, the possible evidence there is firstly a resolution by the board of directors or the steering committee. So this is where we have got a project sign off. Very important, because now you've got at the highest level, at the board of directors or the board steering committee, you have got a decision that is made there. So it is not you at a certain level that is now implementing this, or sorry, that is now approving this. This is a board decision. And this is the highest authority in your company that you can actually work with. So if somebody is not working with that, he's actually against the board directives. It's as easy as that. Secondly, official letters. Official letters stating that we are buying into this management system, let's implement it. Or you can have a launch meeting where you've got all the people at your company in a morning session, in health and safety, they're calling that into a toolbox talk environment. And you are saying, people, we are from today, we are starting with this journey. We are implementing business continuity, or we're implementing ICT, or we're implementing health and safety or quality. But and out of that, you can either have a video of that, you can have photos of it, and all those things are actually evidence. So to obtain the authorization from management is you need to go and develop a business case. That business case, you need to explain, why is this needed for the company? I can tell you, as I said to you, I've been working in the ISO space since 2007, and every company that we've been engaged with, the moment that we are walking away there, they are getting bigger budgets to implement where they have identified risks. they are actually getting bigger budgets to actually refine their processes to make sure that they don't spend on things that doesn't give you evidence. So business case, how you pitch a business case and how you write up a business case is critical. Then your documented justification and excluded requirements. Very important here, because you don't have to go and implement in an organization, a management system in the whole organization of maybe 120,000 people. Start small. Start small first at your head office. Start, and then you can go and roll it out to certain other areas. I was this morning, just before this webinar, I was on a webinar with the company that has bought 25% of our company, and they've got in Australia. This is where we are going to open our offices in the next year, depending on COVID. But we've got already there 4 companies that is going on this journey. So 8 o'clock this morning, we were having already, and me explaining the business case of why do you want to go separately with ISO standards, and why don't you go with an integrated methodology that we can actually do 3 or 4 standards for the price of 1. Now that made sense. Then all these documents are presented during a management review. Now this management review is, I want to say, that is the most important space that you've got, because you've got the audience. If you are not prepared for a management review, you have left the opportunity lurking there and you have lost it. So make sure that you are creating, as a leader, a space for your employees to have that ear to a specific leadership structure, to take the best ideas out of the leadership structure and escalate it to the following leadership structure, and giving them recognition and affirmation, because it is their idea. You cannot steal it, you can just introduce it, but it is that person's idea. He is the leader that is actually identifying that. And then following the management review, it is the approval of the project that's coming back again to the steering committees, etc., and a written permission of the management regarding the implementation and formal authorization of this. Now, how do you provide assurance? How do you provide assurance? How do you provide assurance about leadership? And how do you provide assurance of the tone at the top? Now, there's a lot of documentation that you can go and research about the tone at the top and how important is leadership. Now, if you're looking at that, we can even, this recent pandemic is giving us a fantastic overview of which leaders in the world are actually leaders in a pandemic. And in certain cases, I can tell you that I will never vote for this guy because the words and the tone at the top that they are explaining or giving out is so ridiculous. You can't even believe it. The second point there, how do you integrate this into a system? Because the system gives you validity. And that valid approach is so important for a live approach, that you don't have to go and prepare a document. It is simple. And then how do you create a combined assurance tool? And I'm just going to demo quickly to you how we are doing this. So I'm going to just stop sharing here and sharing with you my screen with the system. So this is our system that we have built with one of the universities, the top universities in South Africa. So this is actually the only system globally that has got this kind of comprehensive function that we can not only have one ISO standard or management system. We can have 15, 16, 17. We can even include here SOX, that is the Sarbanes-Oxley. We can include here King 4. We can include everything here. So if we're going to, let's go onto quality. So if you go onto quality, you will see that this is the structure that the ISO has got. And we are speaking now today about leadership. So leadership, you can go and actually measure that. You can say on the general part of it, and as you can see here, it is pre-populated. So we can say that the leadership commitment, and this is what I explained in clause 5.1. What is my compliance about that? And you will see that there is changes. You can see what is my internal control effectiveness on this, and I can say, wow, we've got good support from management. What is my documents? I've got a board decision about it. So that gives me that. So this gives me now a level of assurance immediately. So I can measure the project, the ISO, everything, and I can have my internal auditors come out and say, you've got a minor non-conformity there. So that minor non-conformity gives you a negative score that is impacting on your level of assurance. And we can also say that who is inspecting us? Who's the assurance provider? Is it internally, 1, 2, 3, or is it an independent external? Let's go for the internal auditor. So now we can see the level there. We can see our level of risk compared to what is our level of assurance. We can go and upload any kind of document that we want. Let's just upload anything that I've got here. Sorry, that you can see how simple it is. Let's go for ISO 9001, the standard. There we are. Upload your evidence, and this evidence is lying there, and it is actually making sure. Come on, I know that it is spinning there. So just a moment, sorry. So now you have got all the evidence that you need to have. Seems like there's a bit of slowness on the, I'm just going to cancel this. Come back. So on the leadership, you can actually go there and see what kind of evidence have you uploaded, and what is your tasks that you have got for the further implementation and the continuous improvement. And you can have all these graphs that is giving you level of risk, non-conformance, etc. And all of this is available to make sure that you have got in your space an overview of how healthy and mature are your system itself. And out of this, I'm just going to stop share here and just go back again to my presentation. So this is where Elaine, can you just give me a thumbs up? Just want to share.
Your screen is not shared at the moment.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, we can see it.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Elaine. So this is where I want to say the paperwork and the systems work is actually making that you've got such a support system, and you can live give feedback to any committee that you need to have there. I just want to explain to you quickly what is our membership and endorsements. So our membership and endorsements, the critical one that I want to actually speak about here is on the PCB. The PCB is for us international, just like ACES. IMSA is in Africa, very strong. We are accredited there. We are everything. There's a few brands that we don't have here as endorsements and membership as well. But the PCB is actually putting us on a total different path with where we are going to. I want to ask you, go to our website and go and see what we are doing there. We will, in the next week or so, we will be starting to launch. Sorry, the website firstly has been done over, so you can go and check it. It is beautiful. It's clean. Secondly, we have got a media room that we want to offer to you actually as a knowledge base. So all the webinars, all the articles, all the brochures and catalogs, the podcasts, the white papers, the YouTube videos, this will be placed on YouTube afterwards. So all this knowledge, this knowledge base is there for you for your utilization. And then to go one step further, we are creating at the moment a membership space as well on the website, and that will actually give you some kind of some templates as well as access to our system for 6 weeks for free, and so we'll keep you informed on that. The bonus for attending this webinar for you, this is a freebie for you. The athletic system that I was demonstrating to you. If you send us an email, you will get 6 weeks free utilization of the system. We just need to go and register you and your company on the system, and you've got it for mahala, for free. So we've got a user registration form that we will send to you, and on receipt of that, within 48 hours you will be registered, and then you will have access to our I want to say world famous system for the next 6 weeks, and go and use it, please. And I want to thank all of you for your attention and attendance. And I think I have not used my time too bad. It's 11:55. So, Ilian, are there any questions that we need to?
There's just a question from Rina. Nico, she asks here if an email is an official letter enough.
Yes. If the email has been included in a service level agreement, and you are saying, and you are stipulating there, it can, just like a fax in the olden days, you can have either a facsimile, you can either have an email, you can, but that has to be acknowledged between the parties.
Okay. And then there was a question from Navania Naidu. Does the management review have to happen with top management, or can middle management be involved?
Hello, Navania. I haven't seen you for long, my girl. That I have seen you last in 2000 and what's it, 6 or 7. Hello, how are you doing, my girl? Huh?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic, man. Okay, I want to say that if you're looking at a management review is actually, you need to determine in your organization where's your levels of, I want to say, leadership. So if you have got, let's say, junior risk officers, there need to be a forum for the junior risk officers. If you've got risk officials, that is on the second level, and then senior risk officers, each of these levels need to have some kind of oversight and some kind of reporting lines too. So usually your junior risk officers are reporting into your risk officials, and your risk officials are reporting into your senior risk officers, and and your senior risk officer are reporting into your chief risk officer. Now, your chief risk officer is then reporting into the governance structure, or it is reporting into the executive committee or into the board. So if you're looking at each of those levels, I would put a more formalized structure in place, where you've got, for every level, you've got a combined assurance committee that is keeping the level that is reporting into that specific level accountable. That will make that you've got the cascading of the international standard. You've got that into your processes, and that you are getting decisions that is actually going through to a higher level. Usually your board and your executives are meeting on a 3-monthly period. You can, or every 3 months. So you can easily have a structure where you've got a weekly, bi-weekly, a monthly, or every 6 weeks management review. And that would strengthen everything that you've got, Ivania. That's a good question.
Yeah, I think in our company it's fairly small, and top management has taken all of the responsibility, which is why we get a problem with governance across the board, because there aren't any lower levels who take responsibility.
Yes. I want to ask you, what do you mean by small? Number of people?
Sure. On a permanent level, we're about 200 staff,
That's not
but
small.
most of them are out on site and not office-based.
Okay, that is not small. So if you're talking about small, you're talking about 12, 15, 17 people, 20 people.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about 200, you are a very, I want to say, you are a big organization. So in that kind of organization, and Ivania, I think you've got my phone number or my email address. Ilian, don't you just want to type it into the chat box quickly there? So please, oh, there's it. Sorry, the next slide. There it is. So please give me a call. Let's see how we can take this further, because this is really 200 people there is huge. And if you're speaking about your permanent people that is on site, and if you are then speaking about your extended shareholders, stakeholders, etc., you're going to sit with about 1,000 people. That's huge. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, maybe you can just type your phone number into the chat box there, only for Ilian, that only she can see. Then she can just copy it. All right. Any other questions?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nothing
Mr.
else
King,
on the chat box.
Mr. King Sobs from Botswana. My doctor.
Hi, hey, I'm actually on the road. I'm listening while traveling, so I can't interact much. Thank you.
Not a problem.
But it's been
Thank
delivered with gusto and passion. Loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, King. Thank you. Doctor? Good morning.
Hi, Nico. No, that was a really excellent presentation. I think I've taken the gist of what it is that ISO is about, and I can see there's a whole lot more that I still need to learn, and I need to get grab on that.
I will send you an invite for coffee.
Please.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no other questions, Ilian?
Nothing else on this side.
Thank you very much.
And yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone. We are going to be from next week. We've got on Thursday, we've got another session at 11 o'clock with the webinar number 8, and then we will start from next week to have it once a week on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock. All right, so please visit our website and get the information there. Have a lovely day and be safe. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.